All right, my name is Jonathan Miller Kauffman, and today I'll be discussing the current state of BDD testing tools. I'll first give an overview of what BDD is, talk about 5 tools that I compared for BDD testing in Java, and then talk about which tool people are using. So BDD stands for Behavior-Driven Development. It grew out of test-driven development and was developed with the goal of providing a shared process and tool that both business and technical stakeholders can use to talk about software behavior. It grew out of this contention between developers and testers, where developers don't want to write tests because they think that's the tester's job, while testers don't want developers writing tests because they want job security. And so you use the shared term behavior instead of tests to trick people into collaborating. It's typically specified using a domain-specific language, such as Gherkin. This is an English-like language. That means that these non-technical stakeholders can actually write the tests. And when you write these tests, you define them in an imperative fashion. You say what should happen instead of how it should happen. However, you still actually need to implement the how in code, so that way the test can actually be executed in an automated fashion. I compared 5 tools for doing BDD, and to be quite honest, I found a web page that compared 5 BDD tools, and I used that as my starting point. And I looked at the Java example, although the tool do support some other languages. And the first tool I looked at is JBehave. With JBehave, specifications serve as containers for behaviors, sort of like the feature and scenario relationship with tools like Cucumber Behave. It doesn't seem like it's being actively maintained, so I probably would recommend it. And you'll next see an example of a JBehave specification. Here we're testing in what happens for an empty repository. There are 2 behaviors with these 2 methods. One that says what happens when there are no books in a repository. One that says what happens when there are no songs in a repository. Next, I looked at EasyB. With EasyB, tests are written in grouping in a given when-then format. Each story or feature is stored in a separate file with multiple scenarios for each of those stories. However, with this tool, the scenario and step implementations are grouped together. And you can see that with this example. Here I have a given statement, the text for that statement in English language, and then the actual implementation. The same thing is true for the then statement as well. Third, I looked at JBehave. JBehave was created by Dan North to support his idea of BDD. With JBehave, there are 1 or more scenarios in a story file. However, with this tool, the implementations of each of the steps are stored in a separate file. And you can see that with this example. On the left, we have the story file with a scenario and a given when-then statement. And then on the right, we have the actual implementations for each of those steps. Each method is annotated to allow the framework to figure out which step to execute for each, which method to execute for each step. Cucumber, it works a lot like JBehave. The feature and step implementations are separate. We use the term feature instead of story. However, unlike with JBehave, there's a little difference in how you control which steps bind to which methods. So here's an example. It looks a lot like the example for JBehave. We have a feature on the left, again, a slight scenario or a slight terminology difference. And then on the right, we have the implementations, and they look fairly similar as well. And then next, finally, I looked at Concordion. With Concordion, specifications are stored written in the HTML page. There are no annotations needed with the actual implementations because in the HTML, you actually embed the name of the method you want to execute. And you can see that with this example. Here in the p tag for this page, we have the given when-then statements. And for each of these statements, we specify the method that actually implements each of those steps. So in trying to figure out which tool most people are using, I really had no idea how I would figure that out. I tried some random Google searching, but didn't get a good quantitative sense of who was using each tool. I did find out in my searching that PageRunner on ADP and some other companies use Cucumber. But what I ended up doing was looking at the GitHub page for each project to get a sense of the activity. I looked at number of stars, forks, watches, and releases. If you look at stars, forks, and watches, Cucumber is the clear winner in terms of activity. And so I decided that Cucumber was the tool people were using. My own thoughts are I don't like JBehave because it doesn't have the given when-then syntax. And my own experience with BDD, that was a very useful feature. I also didn't like the grouping of behaviors and implementations with JBehave and EasyB. And so finally, in future work, I'd actually like to try using the tools to get some hands-on experience. I thought that would have been better to inform my analysis, find some sort of state of BDD test report, and finally include less content in my slides so I don't have to talk so fast. Thank you.